forget. When I flow, I'm a hit, and I know I'm the kid. I'm a soul, don't forget. I'ma blow up winning, got my flow so vivid. Here we go, just beginning. Yeah, I throw every inning, got my flow so legit. All I know is my shit. Here I go, they come with. Post Malone in this bitch, rock star making hits.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Let me take these off because I can't see properly. My eyes are bloodshot from watching my screen for the last couple hours. I'm almost at a loss for words from what we just saw. Wow. What a night. Oh my God. The 2021 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Solid pay-per-view, man. Wow. I'm in awe. From what we just saw, the two I can't even speak. The two 2021 Royal Rumble winners are two people who absolutely, without a doubt, deserved those wins. And hold on, let me fix this light a little bit because it is really, really bright here. On the kickoff show, I'm going to kind of just go through all the matches and talk about what exactly we saw. On the kickoff show, we had the women's tag team title match. The champions at the time, the Raw Women's Champion Asuka and Charlotte Flair, defending against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. I predicted the outcome that we got, just not the way that we got it. Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax becoming two-time women's tag team title champions, defeating Asuka and Charlotte Flair with the help of Ric Flair and Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans obviously getting the brass knuckles from Charlotte's dad, Ric Flair, hitting the women's right on Charlotte when the referees turned. 1, 2, 3, Nia Jax gets the win for her team. Two-time women's tag team champions. So we start off the night, the pay-per-view, with a banger of a match, the WWE Championship match between the champion Drew McIntyre and the challenger Goldberg. Right off the bat, we got a headbutt from Drew McIntyre. And this match didn't even start yet. It goes to the outside. Goldberg hits a spear to McIntyre through the barricade. Now McIntyre is like in pain and blah, blah, blah. And honestly, I thought, oh, now we're going to start the match. And now Drew McIntyre is starting the match with an injury, which is going to lead to Goldberg getting the win. That's not what happened. And boy, were we all so excited for that. Despite the spears and the jackhammer and the claymores. It took a couple claymores, but Drew McIntyre got it done, retained his WWE Championship over Goldberg in the opening match of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, Goldberg was involved in a title match, and he did not win. I think this is the first time in the history of him being with WWE that this happened. So huge, but going into WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre is your WWE Champion. Honestly, I was scared for a second. I was thinking to myself, if Drew McIntyre loses the title here, he's going to go into the Royal Rumble, win the whole thing, go back to WrestleMania and become champion. Luckily, we didn't have any of those scenarios. We had something much, much better, I believe. So yeah, Drew McIntyre, still your WWE Champion. Next, we had the SmackDown Women's Championship match between the Boss, the Standard, the Blueprint, the SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks versus Carmella. And again, my prediction came true. 3 in a row that Sasha Banks was going to retain against Carmella. Carmella had pulled out every page of the book she could have, and Reggie getting involved and ended up getting kicked out of the match, sent to the back. Hey, goodbye, Reggie. And that's kind of where things fell apart for Carmella. She, again, I don't know how many submission losses she's going to take since returning, but she tapped out to Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks retaining the SmackDown Women's Championship, pointing to the WrestleMania. I don't have one here, but pointing to the WrestleMania sign. It was a nice shot of her standing in front of it, pointing, looking back with the title, foreshadowing to a match that we're going to be getting later on, and that's kind of where I'm going now with the women's Royal Rumble match. We saw, honestly, this was probably one of, if not the best women's Royal Rumble match that we've ever had. I love the one that we had with Becky Lynch, where Becky Lynch won. I believe that was 2019, but I loved this match. It was fantastic. Um, there was no, besides Santana Garrett, I don't think there was any other jobber type of superstars in this match. Everybody really deserved to be in that match. We started the match number 1 and number 2. Bailey entered at number 1, and it was just a great match. Naomi coming back at number 2, finally coming back after about a year or so, returning to WWE looking in great shape. She was in that match for a long time. We saw the returns of some legends. We saw Tori Wilson. We saw Victoria. Oh my, Jillian Hall. Wow. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to get everyone's name. I'm going to miss a few details here because I'm still like shaking a little bit from watching that men's Royal Rumble match, because there were some points where I was just scared that we were going to get like a Braun win or a Riddle win or something, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yes, the match ended with the final 3 being Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and the Queen Charlotte Flair. Honestly, couldn't have had a better 3 to end that match. Charlotte being Charlotte Flair. She's the best of the best. There's nothing that we could say or do about that. But having 2 bright futures in the same ring as her. On one end, Rhea Ripley from NXT. The other end, Bianca Belair. Really putting it all out there, showing the world why they are the 3 best in WWE, in the world of women's wrestling, period. I predicted Rhea Ripley was going to win this match. I was wrong, obviously. My second pick was Bianca Belair. But ultimately my first pick was Rhea Ripley. I still do believe she's going to go to WrestleMania to contend for the Raw Women's title against Asuka and maybe even Charlotte Flair. Who knows? I predicted on my pre-show that Rhea Ripley would win this match, go on to have a one-on-one match with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, where maybe not WrestleMania, at Fastlane, the next pay-per-view before WrestleMania, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, where the winner goes to where let's say Rhea Ripley, if she wins, she goes to WrestleMania, and if Charlotte wins, well, then she takes her spot, or she's added to the match, whatever, something like that. That was kind of what I predicted, but I still think we're going to get something like that. The winner of the 2021 Women's Royal Rumble match, the EST of WWE, the strongest, the fastest, the toughest, the EST, everything that you could say with EST in it, Bianca Belair wins the 2021 Royal Rumble match, eliminating Rhea Ripley. I mean, that was just, it was a fantastic match. I was very happy with that entire match. She came in at number 3, and both Royal Rumble winners came in very early. The women's Royal Rumble match going to the winner, Bianca Belair, coming in at number 3. And she just, the emotion from when she won was just, it was priceless. It really was priceless. It was something that will be etched in my mind for a long time. She stood in the ring crying, very emotional, saying, "Mama and Daddy, I did it. Now I'm going to go put the EST in WrestleMania." And she pointed to the sign. We got the fireworks. And it was just, honestly, I had a tear in my eye, because it was from watching her WWE Chronicle, seeing what she went through, seeing her story, learning about her. And then tonight, she wins the 2021 Royal Rumble match, coming in at number 3, really going through everyone on the roster, eliminating Bailey. I mean, she is the EST of WWE, and honestly, I think she is going to WrestleMania to contend for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and we're going to get the match that we've been waiting for since she arrived on SmackDown, and that is the SmackDown Women's Championship match between the Boss Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. This is going to be a match made in heaven. I can only imagine the chemistry. We saw them as a tag team a few times here and there. I think they were a tag team in the Tribute to the Troops special back in December. But either way, I'm excited for this match. The EST of WWE, Bianca Belair wins the 2021 Royal Rumble match. Now we're going to head over to the last man standing match that was for the Universal Championship. The Universal Champion, the head of the table, the top of the food chain, the best of the best, Roman Reigns, defeated with help from Paul Heyman, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens putting on a phenomenal fight. At this point, it's kind of one of those situations where if you can't beat them, maybe you got to join them, because they've done everything in their power to hold KO down from getting him anywhere, keeping him anywhere from anywhere near the Universal Championship or a championship on SmackDown. Just a crazy, crazy outcome. KO handcuffing Roman to some piece of the stage. Then Roman hitting the referee, knocking him out, and Paul Heyman coming in, unlocking Roman, and Roman ultimately choking out KO for the 10 count. Roman Reigns walks away still your WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world. And I could put any amount of money that Paul Heyman can say that better than me, so I'm not even going to try. My voice is kind of hoarse already from just being so excited about the match. The Royal Rumble pay-per-view in general. The main event of the night, ladies and gentlemen, we started. Originally, it was supposed to be Randy Orton number 1, Edge number 2. That was announced on WWE Backstage last night, the night before the Royal Rumble. That didn't happen. And I kind of knew something was up when that didn't happen, because we instead saw Edge come in at number 1, make his return. By the way, returning for the 3rd time in his career in a Royal Rumble match. Very, very crazy. Now winning. Oh, I'm not going to get to that part yet, but we obviously all know what happened. I'll just say it. Edge entered at number 1 and won the 2021 Royal Rumble. Very few men have done that from number 1. I believe, if I'm not wrong, anybody in the chat or anybody who's watching, if you can correct me here, the last time somebody won from a number 1 spot, I believe, was 2004 when Chris Benoit entered at 1 and then eliminated Big Show to win the whole thing. That, don't stand by that. Check that out for me and see if that is correct or not. But I believe that was the last time that someone entered at number 1, went the distance, and won the whole damn thing. So when Edge came in at number 1 instead of number 2, I was like, maybe they're setting him up for something, like something historical, something record, something to be like a phrase next to his name. So I guess that was somewhat correct. I'm not really sure if that was really what they were going for. But Edge coming in at number 1, Randy Orton coming in at number 2. Randy taking a knee injury early on, taking him out of the match, most of the match. And they never said he was eliminated. I tweeted out that I said something along the lines like, I think Orton's out of the match due to injury, but it was never announced that he was eliminated. So you kind of have to pay attention to those details in WWE. Sometimes they throw swerves where they just don't say anything, and they expect you just to guess. I don't know. It's WWE. I don't know. Yeah, so we saw some returns in this match. We saw the Hurricane, Shane Gregory Helms, one of my favorite people in wrestling, period. I had the opportunity to interview him over the summer of 2020, and we talked about a lot of different things in his career. His spot in the Rumble a few years ago with Cena, and a lot of things regarding his career. But he is a legend in pro wrestling, but one of my favorite people in pro wrestling. Shane Gregory Helms returning. We saw the return of Kane tonight, who was in there for a little while. Got some eliminations, but ultimately got eliminated by a debuting on the main roster, Damian Priest. Yes, Damian Priest made his main roster debut in the Royal Rumble. They said he was coming from NXT. He will probably end up on SmackDown, like they've been saying. We saw, who else? The returning, something that I predicted on my pre-show, the Friday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, came in at number 29. Put on a great showing. I thought he was going to be a face. He wasn't. Seth Rollins returning tonight after a few months off to have the birth for the birth of his daughter with Becky Lynch. I think, honestly, let's be honest, Becky Lynch spoiled his return because she posted a picture of backstage in gorilla position. So, yeah, Becky Lynch kind of ruined that for Seth or for us. I'm not really sure. But we all knew that Seth was coming back. It was inevitable at this point. But Seth coming in, getting eliminated. Number 30 was a weird spot. And it's funny because in WWE in the Royal Rumble matches, they typically wait for the bigger guys towards the end. I don't know why. You would think because they're bigger, they can they can withstand more. Braun Strowman entered at number 30. I would have never guessed him being that number. I would have liked to see maybe Seth at that number, or I think Seth was actually number 30 last year or the year before. I'm not really sure. A few eliminations that were really surprising. Big E, honestly, Big E getting eliminated took the life out of the entire room. We saw everybody on the LED boards. The sound was it was almost silent. It was very, very strange. I was kind of like, what just happened? Because Big E was like the favorite to win this entire thing. Then Daniel Bryan getting eliminated later on by Seth Rollins. Again, I originally slated Keith Lee to win. Keith Lee, I believe, tested positive for COVID. If not, he's being quarantined because Mia Yim, his significant other, tested positive. So maybe he did. Nothing has been said, but he was not even in the Royal Rumble match. So I believe that something is going on COVID-wise with him. That was my original pick. And then on my pre-show, I kind of labeled it down to the final four being Edge, Daniel Bryan, Seth, and Sheamus. And I picked Daniel Bryan to win. Came very, very close. He really did have a significant amount of time with Riddle. So I don't know if that was just to show how great Riddle is or just to set, maybe they're setting something up. I'm not sure. But Riddle, I believe, lasted to the final five. And he had some great interactions in that match. So, a lot of people say that backstage WWE people are not a fan of Riddle or whatnot, but he looked like he got the rub from a lot of different talent in the ring. We saw him in great spots with Daniel Bryan. Seth Rollins, someone who has stated publicly that he does not want to be anywhere near Riddle, really went toe-to-toe with him and made him look good. All these people made Riddle look good in this match. So maybe there is a bright future for Riddle. He lasted, I think, the last 5 or 6 in the entire thing. But very, very great, I don't know, positioning with Riddle. What else? Wow, yeah, how could I forget this? The return of Captain Charisma, the leader of the Peeps, Christian, returned tonight at the Royal Rumble. Carlito, Caribbean Cool, formerly, Carlito came back, apple and all, looking in the best shape of his entire life. This guy looks like has not skipped a beat in any part of his life. Same thing for Christian, too, looking in great shape. Both legends in WWE returning tonight, putting on a great effort. My favorite moment of this entire night, let me rephrase that. My favorite moment of this match, my favorite moment of the entire night was Bianca Belair's reaction to winning the Women's Royal Rumble. Hands down, best moment of the entire night. For the Men's Royal Rumble match, my favorite moment was Christian's music hitting and Edge's reaction, just shocked, like happy, like they have not been in the ring together for so many years. Seeing Edge's reaction, it literally brought a tear to my eye, and I'm sure they felt the same way. And throughout the match, they had a spot where they hugged each other, and E and C kind of reformed for a little while, and they did some stuff, and that was just probably the one of the top moments of the night behind Bianca Belair's reaction to winning. So a lot of great. If you're a WWE fan who's been around for a while, tonight was a very, very fun and exciting night. I've been a fan of WWE since I can remember, since I was 3 years old, over 20 years. And to see some of my favorites in the ring tonight, competing against some of the best that we have today. I mean, Kane and Damian Priest, Daniel Bryan and Christian, like AJ Styles and Edge, the Hurricane and Carlito and and Victoria coming in the women's Royal Rumble, Jillian Hall. I mean, it was a great night for wrestling fans. The newer fans obviously may not know who these people are, but that's fine. Now they have the chance to go back and look at the history of these on either YouTube or the WWE Network. Um, Man, tonight was a good night. I'm happy with the results on every match. Every match. I definitely slated Edge, like I said, to be the top 4, even top 3, because of the promo he gave on Monday Night Raw as to why he was entering to win the Royal Rumble, and you know, kind of had a little feeling. Final 4, final 3, and he did it. Edge eliminating Seth Rollins, and then Orton coming back to go for an or hit the RKO. I don't remember if he did it because it was so fast. RKO on Edge, and then went to go eliminate him, and then Edge reversed it, and then threw Randy Orton over, and won the match for the second time in his career. Edge returned at the 2010 Royal Rumble and won it. He returned at the 2020 Royal Rumble, and I believe he was down to the last 3 or 4. 2021 Royal Rumble, he returns at number 1, wins the whole damn thing. Let me tell you, after tonight, Edge may be, quite possibly, one of the greatest Royal Rumble competitors in the history of WWE. I don't think anybody else has had the stats that he does in this match. Being a WWE Hall of Famer, come on, I don't think it gets any better than this. Wow, I was literally at a loss for words. A lot of it, it felt like, honestly, and if you're watching this and you're in a chat, let me know. It felt like the Royal Rumble matches, both men's and women's, were a little like quick. Like they went really fast. Like some points, it felt like, all right, I can enjoy this, and then it was like 10 9 6 4 4 3 1, and just all these buzzers and all these things. I just everything happened so fast. I don't know. Yeah, I see in the chat. I would definitely get on some great WWE programming happened after 2010. From 2010 to about 2015, probably some of the greatest wrestling I've ever seen as a fan. We saw the rise of Daniel Bryan, the summer of CM Punk. All of that was in that 2010 to 2014-15 time. So yeah, go check that out. I see that in the chat. Go check that out. Yeah, it just a lot of great stuff happened tonight. Yeah, so tonight we saw new women's tag team champions on the kickoff show, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. We saw Drew McIntyre, retain his WWE Championship over Goldberg. Yes. Sasha Banks retained her SmackDown Women's Championship. Now she's walking into WrestleMania as the SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha Banks going to have her, I believe, first ever singles Royal Rumble match at WrestleMania. I'm excited to see that. Roman Reigns retaining his Universal Championship. Going in, obviously, or most likely going into WrestleMania as the champion, which I'm okay with all these champions. You know, this is the first time in a long time that I'm looking at the champions right now. We have the WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, the SmackDown, the women's tag team, the women's champions. We have on SmackDown, we have Sasha Banks. On Raw, we have Asuka. All these champions are dominant right now. One thing I think we did miss tonight was the tag teams. There was no tag team title matches on the main card or the pre-show, and there was no. I mean, like we saw Dolph Ziggler entered into the Royal Rumble. By the way, setting a record, I believe, he's the second most. Entering the Royal Rumble for the 14th time. I think Kane is number 1 or something like that. Don't correct people in the chat. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure here. But Dolph Ziggler entered tonight as his 14th Royal Rumble match. I don't know where I was going with that. Kind of just got sidetracked here. But a lot of great things happened in this row. Yeah, so I was saying, the tag teams. No tag teams were really in this match. We saw one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champions Dolph Ziggler in the match, but we didn't see Robert Roode in the match, which was strange. And someone who was advertised for the match was featured on the main graphic and was not in the match. Ladies and gentlemen, where the hell? And he wasn't even involved in the Roman Reigns match. Where was Jey Uso? Main event Uso. He was not there. He just was not involved tonight at all. Maybe something is going on. Maybe an injury. Maybe someone with COVID. I'm not sure. I was very, very surprised that we did not see a lot of entrants from the NXT side. We've seen before Johnny Gargano in there. We've seen other people in there in that match, in the Royal Rumble match, but nobody really from NXT besides Damian Priest came in. I'm looking through the list of superstars. We didn't see Andrade. We didn't see the return of Andrade. There was no Brock Lesnar. I know a lot of people are happy about that. Let's see. I'm looking through the list now. There was no Jinder Mahal, who has recently returned. There was no Keith Lee. There was no Kofi. Obviously, we know Kofi was or has been injured. There was no MVP. R-Truth wasn't in the match. Let's see. No Fiend, which is very, very strange. I would have thought he would have come in and did something with Randy or Alexa. None of that. We went straight back to Orton versus Edge feud. So it is what it is. I'm sure we'll see something on Monday Night Raw. Back to the women's match for a second. Alexa Bliss being eliminated. I don't even think she was in the match for a full minute. She was about to transition to like the darker side of herself, the darker Alexa Bliss that we've been seeing recently on Monday Night Raw. She was eliminated by Rhea Ripley in between that transition. So that was very surprising. I thought she was going to go further than she did. We talked about it before, the return of Naomi to WWE. Return of Lana. Oh my God, when Lana's music hit and she was walking down to the ring, I was like, holy hell, she might just win the whole thing. Thank God she didn't, because someone I think more deserving, just in my opinion, more deserving, won that match. There was some rumors going around that Becky Lynch was going to enter the Royal Rumble because of what she posted on Twitter. WWE even picked it up and tweeted something, or like quoted her tweet and talked about it. And yeah, I don't know. She was not involved in the match. She did say she was there, and that was obviously to support Seth. Now I'm looking at the SmackDown side of things to see who wasn't or who was scheduled for tonight, and that really wasn't there. Yeah, strange that Robert Roode wasn't in the Royal Rumble, but Dolph Ziggler was, both being tag team champions. I really did think Mustafa Ali was going to go further than he did. I just thought that, with Retribution, I predicted on the pre-show that maybe John Cena would enter the Royal Rumble and get involved with Mustafa Ali and set up a match at WrestleMania. Obviously, none of that happened. Murphy was not in the match at all. I don't know where he's been the last couple months. I don't know what is going on. Let's see here. Yeah, Jey Uso was not in the match. I'm not sure what's going on. I hope everything goes all right. Chad Gable was not in the match. For some reason, Otis and Daniel Bryan were. The Alpha Academy thing that they have going on was not anywhere near. Apollo Crews, someone who's been doing really, really well as of late, was not in the match. Strange. I kind of predicted him to be in there. Aleister Black. I talked about it on the pre-show that maybe he enters the Royal Rumble, wins. They said there's rumors going around that there's big plans for him right now, so I'm not really sure what is going on. Let's see. There's some buffering going on with the stream, so I'm gonna keep it as short as possible. Tonight was a great night. I really did enjoy it. You can see on, I don't know which side it is. It's actually I think it's on. If you're looking at the screen, it's on my left side. The results for tonight: Bianca Belair winning the Women's Royal Rumble this year. Edge winning the Men's Royal Rumble this year. 2021 Royal Rumble was a great success. I'm excited to see what's going down next. We are on the road to WrestleMania, and for those who are watching or who watched the pre-show before, thank you for checking this show out. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. Stay up to date with all of my activity, the Angles activity right here on YouTube. A lot more stuff going down. I'm going to be here live every Monday night after Monday Night Raw with the live dive, diving into everything Monday Night Raw, going over everything that we saw during that show. More of a Raw post show. After AEW, I'm going to do a live show right here as well. Top 5 moments of AEW Dynamite. Going to be doing another one. It's called Get Smacked. You're going to be getting smacked with some knowledge and analysis after Friday Night SmackDown, every Friday night after Friday Night SmackDown. A lot of things going down from the Angle. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Joey Karni, and we are officially on the road to WrestleMania. We will see Bianca Belair and Edge main eventing WrestleMania 37, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida. 2001 is off to a great start. We are on the road to WrestleMania. Like I said on the pre-show, strap on your seatbelt. Keep all limbs in the vehicle. We are going straight past Fastlane into WrestleMania. It's a great time to be alive, and it's always a great time to be a pro wrestling fan.